ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Daemon Show. Today I have the pleasure of interviewing one of Birmingham's OG music entrepreneurs. Hello, Dubnine.
Thank you.
How's it going?
Handshake. He's at the side if you wonder why I keep glancing to the side.
First of all, I'm just going to ask you, what is it you do?
Well, I am a music producer. I work at Megatone Studios, which is connected to our label DT Records and our publishing, Transdub Publishing.
So how long have you been doing music for now?
Well, we had the studio now for 23 years. I've been doing music since I was 7 years old. I toured for 3 years till I was 10, and I'm 62 next week. So work it out yourselves.
When did you first take a liking to music?
My mum says that when I was 2 or 3, I'd be outside on the bins, and in those days we had metal bins. So I'd be out there with sticks and I'd be playing rhythms. And she says I was just doing that from I was about 2 and a half, as soon as I could reach the top of the lids. So I always loved sound. And then when I was 7 years old, because both my parents were working, they couldn't afford for one of them to stop in the summer holidays or the Christmas holidays. So they used to send me away to be looked after, basically babysitting over the holidays. And luckily for me, it was a family called the Willock family, and they had a jazz band, and I became one of the lead singers for the jazz band, and we toured for 3 years, done TV and radio, and after that, it was in my blood. You was part of a classic reggae band called African Star. I'm sure many of the listeners out there right now have heard of that if they are a true Birmingham music head. Could you just tell the people a little bit about how you got together with them? And the guy's called Skins, the drummer. You might cut this out, but his real name is David Foreskin. So I wanted to learn more about drums. It was a Handsworth band, and I went to him to get drum lessons, and the band were playing, and they says, "Can you sing?" No, yeah. And they said, "Pick up the mic," and I picked up the mic. They started playing something, and I just sang. I mean, I could just hear music and melodies come straight to my head, and then they just went, "You're in the band," and that's how it started with African Star. It's amazing.
There was a story before when you met Peter Tosh. Could you reiterate this?
Well, we were doing a gig in Switzerland, and we were playing with Peter Tosh, Black Slate, a lot of the London bands, and African Star. And we were the only band that wasn't a London band, except for Peter Tosh, of course. And we just done an amazing gig. We had a track called Living the System that captured everybody's hearts everywhere we went, because everybody was under the system in the late 70s. We done a dread gig. Peter Tosh came out from around the side to see what the hell was happening with his gig, because people were screaming the place down. Then he invited us back and we just had a chat, and he talked about, you know, we had a real future, and that's how we met Peter Tosh. I'll tell you now, when he came on his set, wow, he was amazing. We took it right up there, and he found a place to take it even further. I have to give a big respect to Peter Tosh. He's, obviously people probably know he's died now, but he was definitely a maverick of music.
There was an amazing story where you got to meet Bob Marley.
Do you want the whole story?
If that's okay, yeah.
Okay. In '76, the year before, one of my friends, I went to that gig as well. And it was in Birmingham at the Odeon, and he'd got to, you know, when they come out the side, he got to see Marley, and I swore that I would meet Marley the following year, because it was in 1977, the following year. But unfortunately, I'd badly dislocated my knee, and I was in a full cast on my left leg, and what you used to call a backslab, which is like a full cast, but then it's just bandaged on. And the gig was the next day. So I discharged myself from hospital. I phoned up my mates and says, "Yo, I'm coming." And they went, "No, you're not, because you take up too much room in the car." So they wouldn't take me. They're my friends, you know. The hospital was in town, so I walked to the train station, got the train, got off the train, got the bus. It was in Stafford Hall in Stafford. got off the bus and we still had to walk 2 miles, and I walked on my crutches for 2 miles.
Jeez.
And then when I got there was a bit of blood coming out one of my bandages, but it was cool. And
I've just got that vision now in a train station of like what someone must have saw this reading the paper, looking up, and then seeing you like, now I'm getting to Marley with my blood dripping.
That's
and
what it was. That's what it was. People went, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm going to the Marley concert." So I got there. I can't remember his name now, but there was a young roadie there who knew me, and they took me into Steel Pulse's dressing room, who I later went on to produce a few years later, and the album was Grammy nominated. So that was an incredible thing, that meeting, and then years later me producing them and getting a Grammy nomination for the album. And they took me in there and they said, "You've got to meet Bob." So they took me into the Bob Marley and the Wailers dressing room. Everybody was there, the I Trees, you know, Time, the Barrett brothers, everybody. It was like a dream. The door opens and Marley comes in, and at that time you have to realise that Marley was like a leader to us. He was like our mouthpiece. He was almost like a prophet. So everything I've heard out of his mouth was incredible, obviously. So he comes in and he walks into the room and he looks around the room like so, and he goes, "Oh, and my blood clot herb there." And that just blew my mind, because I'd never, you know, I just expected to say something incredible, and it made, but when it also done, it made me realise he's just a human being, and we're, in a way, when it comes to art and music, we're almost like vessels to bring out the art. And it showed me that, and it showed me for definite this is where I should be going, and that it's not that people are incredibly talented, people are incredibly dedicated that make it, and that's what's so important. So Marley, they were just amazed, and I was going, "Oh, you make it, oh, you make it," and they were just amazed that I made it. And then they took me on stage with them, sat on the flight case and danced there with my crutches. And I was dancing there with my crutches, I look into the crowd and there's some people staring at me. You know who it was? The guys that wouldn't take me in the car. They're staring and going, "Oh my God, Michael's on stage with Bob Marley." So then when we came off stage, Marley was dread. We came off stage and they're going, "Do you want to come on the rest of the tour?" And I went, "No." And they just sort of looked at me and I said, "No, I know what I need to do and I need to go and start doing it." They dropped me back in Birmingham, and then they went off to London. And that's the story of Bob. And the other sweet thing about that as well is that on the Steel Pulse album that we, African Holocaust, we got the Grammy nomination for the album, I worked with Daemon Marley on that as well, his son. So it was just such a pathway, it was such a connection, right from when I was young, right till I was an older producer, that it all came to a circle. It was an amazing feeling.
One of the interesting things that you says there was the synchronicity of how you met Steel Pulse during when you went to see Marley in the back, and then you did a Grammy nomination at the end. Do you believe in the law of attraction?
I believe in synchronicity, which is sort of the law of attraction, but I do believe in synchronicity, and opportunities come up in front of you and you have the chance to take those. And it's like a synchronicity that chance comes up, but you can choose to do it or not. You can choose to take that chance or not. Nobody ever done anything by doing the same thing all the time. It's people who tried something new and failed that makes the world what it is, like Einstein. So that's one for me is partly what synchronicity is, his opportunity. I don't know how true it is, sitting there, apple lick him in the head, and we go, "Lord have mercy, gravity." I didn't know he was Jamaican either. So that's a synchronicity, you know what I mean? He could have went, "Ow, fuck that," and just said, "Wife, I want something to eat." But instead, it set off a whole trigger of things. I believe in that very much. Call attraction, but I really like the idea of synchronicity.
So you've been doing music for a ridiculous amount of time now. Do you have children?
Yes, I do. I have 6 adults. The youngest is 24. They didn't start as adults, they did start as children.
So
and I have
painful.
about 12 to 14 grandchildren.
Wow. So
that's immortality, I'm telling you.
So that's a lot of experience in being a parent right there. What do you think the most important thing is in parenting?
Don't forget you was a child too. That's one of the most important things. Don't forget you was a child too. So when you're going on like, why are they going on like that? You know, look at that, you know, you're exactly what you've done. You should use that understanding and communicate to them as people. I try to communicate with my children and my adults as people, not as my children, not as something I own or belongs to me. I try and treat them as individuals, as people, and I would talk to them as I would talk to you. That's how I would talk to them and be real that way, instead of coming off with some pompous parents bullshit. Now, from the mouth of babe and sucklings comes the truth. And that's what our children are, our babes and sucklings. Listen to them.
Obviously, while you're working in the studio, I mean, I know that you are active 24/7, and that means you're spending a lot of time away from home. What do you think is the most important thing in keeping a relationship together?
I mean, for me, the main thing is friendship, not love. I mean, love is something that it just grows. But, you know, when people say that, you know, look across the room and I think I'm in love. Look at her, she's incredible. No, she's dick talking. After you've gone through that phase, you're left with a person.
Yeah, for real.
And that's the thing. And you need to have a friendship with that person. And if you want that friendship to grow, then you both have to evolve together in life. Not stay the same, but evolve together. And try really and be as honest as you can. But it's really about respecting that person. Now, if you're going out with a woman or a man, you treat them as a person. You don't treat a woman as a woman. You don't treat a man as a man on that basis. You give them the respect every human being should have, regardless if they're a man or a woman. And I think that really helps a relationship big time. But the other thing as well, you might wake up one day and it's not happening. And I think you should always feel that. So you don't take for granted the person you go out with. Realise that maybe tomorrow it might not be it. So you enjoy the time and you make it happen. And you don't think, yeah, I'm going to be with her for 30 years. You don't know that. But if you make every day happen and be something, then yeah, it could last whoever knows how long. The relationship I'm in now has been over 30 years. Somebody understands what I do, understands music. Again, you know, I know it's not exactly what to do, but I don't believe you should make anybody the centre of your life, and that's including your children or your wife. To me, the community is the centre of my life. People is the centre of my life. And I've seen people, little children dying and being shot in Lebanon and all that. That's what I'm caring about, and fight for a better earth. And the only way we can do that is to put that as the centre of our life, not just individuals. Because then we're looking after everybody then, aren't we? We're all looking after each other. What more do you want?
One more question. The synchronicity that we mentioned earlier, how you met Steel Pulse.
Yeah.
How did you end up meeting them again to have the Grammy nomination? I mean, like, that's crazy, because, like, obviously we're in Birmingham right now. And, like, a lot of people think that kind of stuff would never happen, because at that time I know that they was an absolutely ridiculously huge band, weren't they?
Well, before I'd done that album, I'd done three television series for the BBC, wrote everything. I was the main writer, over 40 radio plays. I put out many singles, albums. So I had a lot of experience before I got there, and I was working with the technology from the 80s. My first computer I worked on was a BBC 16K. I'm walking to the studio, and I think I walked a different way.
May I ask, is that the same studio as what you have now?
No, it was this. I was walking past their studio. So I'm walking past their studio, and someone's going towards him. He stops and he goes, "Michael, we've just got Logic and I just don't know what to do. Can you help me out?" So I went into studio and sorted it all out for him, and they went, "Wow, would you be our programmer for the album?" And I went, "Let's go in the office and talk business." No. So yeah, we did. And we had a Jamaican, James Hunt his name was. He was a great producer. He produced an incredible single called Baltimore, which won a Grammy. He was producing the album. And to tell the truth, the album wasn't going well. The producer came to me and says, "My God, you should do the album, not me. You should do it, you know what them want." And I took over and I became the co-producer of that album. I was just a producer because they were flying out all the time, and that's how I got the gig. And I'm really happy about that album because it was known as one of their best albums they'd done in something like 10 years. People were saying, Steel Pulse are back. This is what we always wanted back from them. So
it really is a great album. I listened to it not too long ago, and honestly, the thing that I love about it, it's not of its time. Just like Marley's music, it's as true now as it was back then. Timeless music, I think that's a perfect word for it, and it really is a good album to bang to. And what was that called now?
The album's called African Holocaust, a great album. People out there, much love. People who know Dubnine, much respect for your support through the years. And it's supporters we look for, not fans. Fans are fanatical, supporters support. Let's be supporters, not fans. The Daemon Show, and the best show, I tell you.